to Talk Nerdy with me, Steph, and Mara right here next to me. What is going on? Sorry we started so late. I just got home. I
Probably a
set up
good
the
thing that I
stream.
said,
And
like, let's put it to 9 just to be safe.
I set up the stream, took off to go run a few errands. And I was like, I was rushing in my car. Look, I'm a little under the weather. And when I say under the weather, I don't mean like I'm not sick, okay? But I have a sinus I think I have a sinus infection because I had some bad allergies and I haven't been able to get them under control, and that's sort of turned into a really bad sinus infection. I feel like I'm underwater, okay? My ears are clogged. I have a sinus infection and it's really bugging me, and I don't want to have to go and get an allergy shot. I've been trying to handle this on my own, okay, but it's not working. It's just getting worse. So yeah, so I've been trying to handle it, but it's not working. All of my tips, all of my tricks and stuff, they're just it's not helping. It's not working. Nothing's working. So I might have to go to the doctor here sometime in the next week or something if it really doesn't go away or clear up. But yeah. So we have some things to talk about. Thank you guys so much for being here. Mara, how you doing, Mara?
I'm good. I originally asked you to push it to today because I'm like, we need time to see 2 movies pretty
That's
much,
right.
especially the Godzilla movies. And I wasn't going to see the Godzilla movie until Saturday, and I was hanging out with my siblings, so I'm like, let's push it to Sunday. And
it was Mara's idea to push it to today at 9:00. You know, if we can't do it on Saturdays, we either do it on Sunday during the day or Sunday evening. You know, the time kind of rotates just like the stream rotates on our channels. Okay, normally it's supposed to be, every Saturday.
Normally it's Saturday, but it was like, I'm going to need time to process this movie.
Yeah.
Sort of situation. Especially the Godzilla one, because that was the one I was really anticipating this weekend. And I was like, it's probably my number 1 for the year.
Oh,
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I'd probably I still love Godzilla King of the Monsters, the one that came out after 2014. I still do enjoy that. Is it necessarily perfect? No, but I still enjoy that one. But this one, it's like returning to its roots.
Did you see? Did you see? Did you see Shin Godzilla?
Yes,
you did. How does okay? We're gonna talk a little bit more about Godzilla in a minute because we went and saw Godzilla. We went and saw Silent Night. I still haven't seen the show Monarch.
Well, I was going to talk to you about that. I figure, yes, I've been pushing you to watch the episodes, but it might be a good idea to maybe wait until it's done and then we do a season recap.
Okay.
Sort of situation.
I will do
that. Would probably make more sense than talking about it each week, because there'd be, I think, a lot to process.
Okay.
Over the season.
And I will wait and then just binge it. Just binge it. Yeah. I'm getting excited. We're already in December. It's December 3rd. Okay, it's December 3rd. There's something. Did anybody get a hoodie? There's something going on. You're supposed to get a cozy little hoodie on December 3rd from your boyfriend, but I didn't get a fucking hoodie.
I don't know what this is. I buy my own. So got my this one on that I bought pretty much, but
yeah, I think you have to. I don't know. You have to have a boyfriend to get a hoodie, I suppose. I wouldn't mind taking my best friend's hoodie, but where are you at? You're way up. I can't find you.
No.
Okay. You'd have to ship it to me. Tim says Monarch sucks. Ooh.
What?
Okay. Let's say hi to the chat really quickly.
Oh, I was gonna say.
And you know what? It's December. I'm excited. Look at my little mug. Look, it says ho ho ho. I'm excited. I almost have all of my holiday shopping done, and we're just at the beginning of December.
I still have to do mine.
I'm getting on it. Yeah. Who is here in the chat? We have Gravy D, Teray, Stunning and Brave, Megatron channel member for 25. Count them. 25 months says aloha. Bradley Scott is here. Gamer what? Taurus, you got drunk
Drunk 3PO.
Oh, okay, got you. The Zaz, Tiny Metal Trees. Happy Nova, Mr. Bentham, Commissioner General Mao, Mike Hill. Hi, Mike Hill, Mr. Bentham, Jeff Adkins, Tim, and Tim always brings tacos. Thank you.
Yes.
Psychotic Mongoose is here. Tiger Strike says, "Let's go, double A." What's up, you beautiful, gorgeous, delicious? Hope all is well. Hope all is well. As long as I can just kick this stuff. If you guys don't mind this raspy voice and me coughing a little bit, then we should be fine here. Nearsighted Cyclops, Calyx. Thank you guys so much for being here. I like Ike. Thank you. Feel better. Thank you. Jonathan Chesser, my celebrity, who put out a new song about Fear the Beardo. It's like a ballad, you know. It's almost Beardo's like love song to the chat. You know, it's Beardo's ballad. Like it's
his ballad of songbirds and snakes.
It's so good. It's his ballad of, you know, Corn the Long Way.
Ballad of Fortnite and Lock It In.
Yeah. It's such a good song. What were we? Me and Krista were doing something. I can't even remember what we were doing. Oh, we went to the store. We went to Walmart, and then we brought back like some more ornaments and some more things to put on the tree. And we were listening to Jonathan Chesser's songs while we were doing it. I pulled him up, put it up on the TV, and we were just rocking out to it. And we were just laughing at like the new song. It's so funny. It's so good. Bird up for $5. Thank you so much. Cheers. I saw Godzilla Minus One last night, and I have nothing bad to say about it at all. It is so goddamn good. It is. It really is. I'm right there with Mara. Like, it's probably my favorite movie of the year. Yeah. Triss is here. She says, "Hi, Mara."
Hey,
Tasaurus. Oh, hi, Steph. Hi, Triss. Lord Hoth, the lovely Sherry Dinner Bells is here. Patrick T. Snowdub. What's up, Snowdub?
There goes.
Oh, look at that. Steph's abused keyboard. Hello. Kick It Stinky. Merry Xmas, beautiful ladies. Ruben Christopher Hayes is here. Hi, Ruben. I'm so glad you guys like. Oh, it was so good. It's so good. I'm so sorry, guys, that I'm coughing so much. Let me get something to suck on. Hold on. I got two brands of cough drops. I have Ludens. Ludens isn't cough drops, okay? This is candy. All right. Sometimes I'll just snack on these, just, you know, because I think it's candy. But I went out and got myself some actual cough drops because I needed them.
Yeah, I was gonna say phrasing.
Huh?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trey. Nicola.
Get one of these and stick it in my mouth.
I when I was student teaching, I had to get the special Ricola cough drops for like just if your throat was sore, not if you were sick.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand. Like, I know that brand. I had to buy it a lot because I was doing like when you're talking for about 8 hours a day almost.
Yeah, I bet your throat just like completely just gives out or gets really dry. Winky Wanky Woo is here, and Maxfield.
Max.
Hi, Maxfield. Paige Ashley, Soul Assassin. All right, guys, let's get started, shall we? We're gonna get started. Really quickly before we start talking about how great, you know, and how mid these movies are, I wanted to start off with something kind of wholesome. All right. Let's start off with something wholesome. It's Christmas time. You know, we always watch, at least I do. I watch Home Alone every Christmas time, every Christmas season. It's a Christmas movie. And you know what? Macaulay Culkin finally like got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I didn't even know that like he didn't even have a star.
I didn't know either. I figured like he would have had one by now or before.
Yeah, I would think that he would have one, right? Look at him. It's his star. He finally got a star. When I saw that, I was like, that has to be like old news that's just being like recirculated around somewhere. But no, look at him. He finally got his star. Look at his socks. Check those out. They're so colorful.
I saw it going around on Twitter that he had like a little reunion with Catherine O'Hara because like she played the
Yeah, I'll
mom
show that.
in Home Alone.
Hold on, actually, let me share this entire window.
And the fact that he got screwed over by his own parents, like they basically literally ripped him off when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. Yeah. He looks effed up. No, yeah, he looks a little healthy. But you know what I love? I love that he has colorful socks. And here's why. Because like I wear, you know what? I wear a lot of like just solid colors and blue jeans and like I just that's it. Like I wear a lot of solid colors. I wear a lot of black. But you know what? My feet are always very unique because I wear like different kinds of like colorful socks with like characters on them, and I have no plain socks. None. No plain socks. I have no white socks, no plain black socks, nothing like that. They're all colorful and awesome. And so when I see someone like wearing super colorful socks, like they're not traditional, like, oh, he's wearing his suit. Gotta have the matching black sock. No, he's wearing special colorful socks. It just makes me happy. I don't know why. It's like, but yeah, he looks nice and healthy here. He's got 2 little boys. His little family photo was cute.
Like he.
But this right here.
Spiraled, but
oh my gosh. Yeah. When I saw this, I was like, look at that. Dude. Isn't that adorable right there? Doesn't that just like make you feel super fucking old?
She goes from like, isn't that adorable? Doesn't that make you feel old as shit? like you remember when? But she's like, Catherine O'Hara has been in. Have you seen the commercial she's in with Kevin Hart?
No, I don't watch a lot of TV.
It's basically a kind of poking fun at the fact that she lost another Kevin, but it's in the store.
Oh, okay.
For Capital One.
Well, so she lost Kevin Hart?
Yeah, she lost Kevin Hart. And she's like, Kevin, she's like going around the store, and he's like, you know, it's like he lost another Kevin.
He looked stoned. He kind of looks stoned in this photo. Not gonna lie. Yeah. I will say, okay, he doesn't look bad, but he didn't age very well, younger, right?
So kind of he did kind of use like, I mean, I don't blame him because, like I said, his parents really messed him up.
Yeah, I think he did use drugs for a while.
Yeah, so he did use drugs for a while, but he cleaned his act up and like, you know, they basically like came back to Hollywood. So no, it's gonna show a little bit.
Yeah, like, so know, like this is, you know, you could tell those drugs aged him up for sure. But no, I just saw this and I was just like, that is so wholesome. This little side by side right here is so incredibly wholesome. I loved it. So yeah, I wanted to start off with some wholesome stuff. I think that is so freaking cute. And the fact that he finally got his little star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, very nice. I think that that's something nice. Something nice to see. So I thought we would start off with that. Sorry. Winky Wanky Woo for $2. Jade, why are you so damn cute, babes?
I guess someone liked me when I was conceived. I don't know.
And the Damian Murphy for $5. Catherine O'Hara is the quintessential movie mom for me. I think she is for a lot of people, actually.
That's the woman that moved heaven and earth to get back to her kid.
All right, let's talk about Godzilla Minus One. Let's talk about Godzilla Minus One. Godzilla Minus One opens with 11 million domestically, the biggest ever for a live action Japanese film in the US. And this movie was made on a $15 million budget. Word of mouth on this movie is going to help this movie succeed.
I think it is I don't know where that figure came from, because when I looked it up, it's at 150 million. But even then, even then, I don't know like what the actual budget is. But it's definitely going to make it back and then some, because word of mouth is going around.
Word of mouth is going to help this movie. Yeah. And I think also multiple viewings. I went and saw this movie twice. I want to see it a third time. Like, I want to go back and see this movie. That's how much I loved it. Now, I'm a Godzilla normie. My introduction to Godzilla was Matthew Broderick's Godzilla movie. I still feel like that movie is a oh my gosh. What's the phrase I'm looking for? Holy shit. It's a guilty pleasure movie for me, right? But I'm not like super into Godzilla like Mara is. Mara is into Godzilla.
I pretty much grew up watching it.
Yeah,
Like
I haven't watched any of like the Japanese, Godzilla movies or anything like that. I've watched like the MonsterVerse movies, and we do have a new Godzilla King Kong trailer that I haven't seen yet. Mara has seen it, but I haven't seen it yet, so we're gonna watch that trailer too. But dude, this movie is incredible.
I love that shot. Like when he's like just like poking just enough out of the water. It's like he's swimming and he's following his boats.
This movie is incredible. Everything about this movie is incredible. Yeah. This takes place after like World War II.
After World War II, technically you see
immediately immediately after like the World War II, and like you see the devastation of World War II. That's where this movie kicks off, right? And you're following one particular character who was a kamikaze pilot, who is set up to be a coward. Like he did not complete his mission as a kamikaze pilot. He wasn't supposed to be alive. They know that when you're drafted or when you're chosen to be a kamikaze pilot, you don't come home, right?
Yeah.
You don't come home. So when he does come home, people are shocked to see him because they're like, aren't you a kamikaze pilot? And they immediately know, oh, you're a coward. You didn't fulfill what you're supposed to do. You didn't honor your country. You didn't honor what you're supposed to, your duty.
At least some characters do, but there are others that like the boat captain, who like when he takes the job,
right?
Like understood, it's like, why like would you serve a government that expected you to die?
Right. There's actually different points of views in this movie from a lot of different characters. It's so great. So that's the main character that you're following in this movie. And this character and the actor who plays him, is just incredible. I haven't latched onto a character like this in a long time, and actually all of these characters that you see, you want absolutely nothing to happen to these characters. Yeah. You want nothing to happen. You want all of them to survive. You want them to, all of them have like a happy ending. You really root for every single one of these characters in this movie. And in a Godzilla movie, like at least for me, when I'm watching a Godzilla movie, like in the MonsterVerse or whatever, you don't really care about those characters very much, right? Like you don't really latch onto them as much. You actually just want to get back to seeing Godzilla. Whereas in this
movie, I did enjoy King of the Monsters, but yeah, you're right. It's like you if a character died, it would not have much of an impact at all on anyone, because your focus is focused more on the giant monsters fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like very much like, I don't like the main character. I didn't want anything to happen to him. The three men that he like works with on the boat, like to bring up sea mines that were like laid by the U.S. and the Japanese. I didn't want anything to happen to them. I like, look at me, like I'm a white female, and I'm relating to 4 Japanese male characters that I loved. They all each had different personalities. Each one brought different perspectives to the conversations, and each one I'm like, please don't die. Please don't die. I want you to live. I want the captain to live. I want the doctor to live. Like, the experts.
Mm-hmm.
The kid, like, who was called Kid, who like really wasn't a kid pretty much. I like, it's like, I love that he was upset that he wasn't able to serve. And both the main character and the boat captain are like, be thankful you didn't.
Yeah, be thankful you didn't. Mm-hmm.
But he found a way to serve later on in the movie.
Oh my gosh. I feel like every single character now. This movie just came out, and I really want you guys to go and watch it. So I don't want to give like spoilers to this movie if you haven't seen it. But I feel like every single character in this movie gets a setup that is there's characters set up for all of these characters that gets paid off at the end for practically every single character, even a character that's so small as like the main character's neighbor who becomes his nanny. Even she goes through like this character arc, you know, in the movie, and it's so incredible how these characters take. So I had a member stream the other night. Okay, I had a member stream, and I was talking about this movie, and I kind of compared it a little bit to Jurassic Park, right? Because the original Jurassic Park is beautiful. It's a great movie. You care about the characters in the movie. You care about their stories. You don't mind when there's a scene and they're all just sitting around at a dinner table talking, right? Mm-hmm. And the dinosaurs are sort of like in the background. They're a threat in the background. They play a huge part and they're a major part of the movie. But at the same time, the movie is written so well that you actually care about the characters and you don't want anything to happen to them, right? That's how this movie is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay? You have characters that have conversations that are honestly in this movie are sitting around at a dinner table at one point, and you don't mind it. You're watching this movie. You're watching these characters interact. You don't mind it. And you know that there's a threat. That Godzilla's out there. Mm-hmm. And when he does come, he delivers like major blows to both the characters, like the city, the everything, you know?
Trey brings up Jaws, and that's what I would compare, like, you know, also what I would compare it to, where it's like you don't see the shark really in the first Jaws film, or at least you barely see it until closer to the end of the movie. But at the same time, the shark, like, you still feel the presence of the shark. The shark is still a threat in those waters, pretty much. It's the same with Godzilla movies, where it's like people were like, whenever we like maybe criticize some things about Godzilla movie, people will come in and go, "Oh, you just don't know Godzilla films, do you?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do. All right. There has to be a balance with the humans, but you still feel the threat of Godzilla. If you focus too much on the humans, you kind of forget that this is a Godzilla film. Case in point, Godzilla 2014. But if you focus too much on the giant monsters fighting, like Godzilla versus King Ghidorah or Godzilla versus Kong, at the expense of the human characters, then you don't give a shit, pretty much. It's just like two giants fighting. It looks cool, but there's no story. This strikes the perfect balance between the two.
Yeah, it is the perfect balance between the threat of Godzilla and us caring about the characters in this story, and meshing those two together to where once, you know, the threat hits home with all of these characters, it's like, holy crap, please don't die. Oh my gosh. You know, and you do get a lot of Godzilla. It's not, he's very prominent in this film. And I mean, look at this photo. Like, seriously, he is a major threat. I was stunned and blown away by his heat ray. How they did it in this movie. I was like, oh my, it is like a nuclear bomb just went off.
Well, he is very much driven by nuclear energy, because the original Godzilla film, Gojira, was a commentary on basically human folly and creating nuclear weapons and using them, pretty much. So it's kind of like an indictment on the human race, so to speak, with the first Godzilla film. In this case, like, so basically Godzilla is literally a walking nuclear bomb.
Right. When he does his heat ray for the first time. Oh, it's so good. I was blown away because the way he breathes his breath and then shoots it out. You see like a nuclear bomb go out. Stuff gets sucked in and then gets blown out. Like, it is insane. It is crazy. And then his face afterwards, he looks like he is like burned. Like he is completely burned to a crisp. And he has to like regenerate and heal from using that heat ray. It is so good. It is incredible. If you haven't checked it out, you guys need to go and see it. You need to go and see it.
Oh yeah, Trey. When the Godzilla theme kicked in, I was actually doing this in the theater, like when the dun 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 dun. That is like the original Godzilla theme, and I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
like that is like you hear that music, you're like, at least I grew up with Godzilla. My first thought of it is like, that's Godzilla's music right there.
This scene right here that this picture has, this scene alone was so incredibly intense. This scene alone was so incredibly intense. I mean, look at this huge monster going after a wooden tugboat. Like, just this scene alone was so freaking intense. Now, there's actually 2 of these tugboats. Our main characters are on one, and then we have faceless characters on another tugboat.
Yeah.
Godzilla like takes him out so quick. And this was right before the main character. I can't pronounce his name.
I mean, let me look
I've
it up
seen
so
it
I can,
twice,
like,
and I still can't pronounce his name like it's supposed to be pronounced.
I don't
like,
want to butcher it, so I'm gonna look up it on IMDb so I can.
And I'm watching this
spelling.
movie, and I'm like trying to pronounce it, and I can't do it. But the main character is telling them about Godzilla because he's already seen him. Like, you see Godzilla at the very beginning of the movie. He's already seen it. He knows the legend.
Like he goes by like his first name is Koichi, and then Shikishima. We'll just call him Koichi. Because they generally, Japanese culture, they always say the last name first.
Right.
So that's why they would refer to him by his last name. But we'll just call him Koichi, because that's his like first name.
Right.
So he's the main character, and he's the kamikaze pilot who, like, he couldn't do the mission he was sent on.
Yeah.
And like pretended that his plane was there was something mechanically wrong with it and had to divert. So yeah, I remember Noriko is the girl and Akiko is the little girl.
Akiko, oh my gosh, Akiko. Okay, so well, you bring them up. So the girl and the baby, he sort of runs into them, and they I guess like they, by happenstance, they sort of like form their own like little family unit, but to him they're not their family. He's not like their family. They're just temporarily there, and he's always sort of like kept her at arm's length, like, you know. So the little girl, the little baby that they have, she calls
Koichi daddy at one point.
Yeah. But she calls Noriko. I can't pronounce his names. She calls her mommy, and she tries to call him daddy, but he's just like, I'm not your dad, you know. So he very reluctantly allowed them to live in his house. And in order to, he's going out and looking for work, and this is the work that he has. They're disabling mines in the ocean.
And the reason why
before this scene happens, he's explaining to them, like, you know, there's this creature, it's called Godzilla, and he tells them what happened, you know, to he explains what this creature is. He's like, it's a dinosaur-like creature. I've never seen it before, but it's a major threat, and we have to go. And they don't believe him. They're like, dude, we have these mines, like, we could totally take it. And they're like, no, it won't help. We have to run. We have to run, or else we're gonna die, you know. And so so Godzilla, like, right away, he takes out the other tugboat by just biting it in half, and they see that, and they're like, oh shit. Like, what the fuck.
And I can't say why. I mean, obviously, like, the initial reaction would be a holy shit reaction, but at the same time, I can't exactly say why it's a holy shit reaction from the main character, because it was kind of spoiled the beginning of the film. So I don't want to say anything about Godzilla in particular in that case, because something happens to Godzilla from when we see him early in the film to this point, where the main character's like, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
So, but I don't want to spoil anything, because it would.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything either. But yeah, something does happen between when the main character sees him the beginning to like now. But this scene is incredibly intense because they're trying to get away from him. They only have like 2 mines on the boat, and little nothing's gonna do it. Nothing's gonna do it with this monster that's chasing him. But they end up like at this point, I was like, are they gonna die? Are we gonna like get introduced to new characters at this point? Because like, there's no way they're gonna get out of this, right? I don't know.
Oh, trust me, we haven't spoiled quite a bit. Trust me, there is a lot.
There's a lot in this movie.
So we haven't even touched on anything that could remotely like really spoil it.
Yeah. So. I think they need a bigger boat. I do too.
Yeah.
This was a seriously good movie. It really was. It really was, Steven.
And the reason why that tugboat is wooden is because like the mines are drawn to metal, so they have to use like this cheap wooden boat. So they don't like the mines don't get attracted to them.
But after this, so much happens after this, between like all of these characters, and the main character, he goes through such a journey in this movie, where he starts off as a coward and he ends up like a hero. I mean, it is incredible.
I cried.
I cried too.
Especially with his interaction with another like a particular character that we'd seen at the beginning of the movie, and then he in the movie, like that scene when like like when he's in the plane, I started crying. It's like I'm not gonna cry in the theater.
I cried. I legit cried. I was just like, oh my goodness. I cried too. I mean, this movie is so incredible. This movie is so incredible. He really goes on a hero's journey. Yes, Trey. He really does go on a hero's journey in this movie. And like a lot, like I said, a lot of stuff that gets set up with characters that you don't think will have, arcs and like a satisfying story, and like all of them do. They really all do. And especially like the main character and like his little family unit. Now there is something that happens at the end, Mara, that I wanted to ask you about. And it's like, it's the final scene. Is it the final? No, it's not the final scene. It's the hospital scene.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And there's something on the neck. What is that?
I couldn't tell. I want to watch it again because I noticed what you're referring to. And
or chat, if you've seen this movie.
I don't want to speculate what it is because I would like spoil like why she's in the hospital.
Right.
So I don't exactly want to speculate on that because I did notice that on the mark because it does focus on that. There is a possibility, but again, I don't want to spoil possibly anything. Because I think it's setting up. It's definitely setting up for a continuation of sorts.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Heading to see Godzilla. Have a great rest of the stream. Oh, you're gonna love it. You're gonna really enjoy it. You're gonna love it. There will be a sequel. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely setting up for a sequel of sorts. Now, when it takes place, I don't know, but definitely setting up for a sequel.
Now I know the UK, yes, Iconic Mongoose. The UK does have to wait like a couple of weeks before they get to see it. That's crazy. It is so freaking good.
Yeah.
Does Godzilla have mutant powers? No.
No, like Godzilla is, without touching on the fact that Godzilla is a metaphor against, like I said, human folly and creating nuclear weapons. Godzilla is a walking nuclear weapon. So he doesn't have mutant powers. Like he is literally powered. Like he basically has a nuclear reactor within him. So that energy that he blasts out is a nuclear blast.
Here's something. Whoops, wrong one. Hollywood needs to learn some lessons from this superb movie. Yes, absolutely. Especially when it comes to like their crazy freaking budgets, because this is leagues better than anything Disney and Marvel have put out this year and last year.
Yeah,
sorry, but leagues way ahead than anything I've watched come out like of Hollywood and Marvel and Disney this year. This is the best movie that I've seen all year. It is so incredible. It is so good. I've watched it twice. I want to go see it a third time. And like, I feel like some people are like, oh, it's got like subtitles. It's gonna deter people from going and watching this movie. No, not at all. Not
Maybe
at all.
maybe if you have kids, but for the most part, no, it does not deter anyone. Pretty much, like it's going to make its money back and then some. I'm seeing Mike Hill saying I'm talking about the healing and D-Day. Yes, like it's because he has super fast regeneration powers.
Oh yeah.
So, like it's not like a healing. He's just able to regenerate extremely quickly because he pretty much is created from radiation. Like he is like literally created as a, like I said, like nuclear powered monster.
No, this movie has nothing to do with.
No, it has nothing to do. It's separate from the MonsterVerse here.
Yeah, this is completely different from the MonsterVerse movies. These are from Toho Studios.
Yeah.
I saw the director wants to do a Star Wars film. Don't unless he gets full freedom. So I thought that I think that he would, if he likes Star Wars, I think that he would do an excellent job. However, Star Wars is currently under Disney, and
it would be career suicide if he did at this point.
It would be bad. Yeah, they're not going to let him have free reign. They're not going to let him have full freedom. They're not going to allow him. They're not going to hire him because he likes Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they don't hire people like that who actually like the project that they're working on, because then they'll want to put out something good that will please fans and will be Star Wars. And that's not what they want. They have the messaging is more important than actual characterization, actual story, actual IP. So even if he does want to do it, I honestly don't think that they would even let him.
No, and it would be Disney Star Wars characters. So it's like so many people have checked out that even if he did a good story, no one cares about the characters. Which, like I said, would be like this director. I don't want to say stick solely with Godzilla, but stick with making just good films like this. Stay away from Disney.
Yeah, stay away from Disney, 100%.
So,
and you're right. Like all the characters are ruined. Like, what story would they give him? Ray's movie? Like, no. Excuse me. What else? I mean, this movie is just like, I think I gave it a 9 out of 10. After watching it a second time, like 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's like damn near perfect.
It's almost the perfect film. I don't know what else to say about this movie, like without ruining it, because it's not out in the UK. Some people in chat haven't seen it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I would rather them go and see it and experience it than like me giving away all these spoilers on the movie.
Yeah.
I can just say like this is an incredible film. It is the film of the year for me. I freaking loved it. It's incredible. Best movie I've seen, and I want to see it again. I've already seen it twice. Want to see it again. Everything in it is phenomenal. The acting, the script, the special effects, the sound in this movie, the score. I mean, everything in this movie is perfect. It's flawless. The movie is incredible. You will love it.
Yeah.
You will love it. I haven't seen anybody yet who has gone and watched this movie who didn't like it, who didn't enjoy it. This movie is great. And I think that y'all really have to go and watch it if you haven't seen it yet.
I full on support sailing the high seas for stuff that you don't want to spend money on, things like that. And I'll get free copies of certain movies because there's no way I'm supporting the company making it. But I would say, if you can support this film, in theaters if possible, because
oh yeah, definitely go and watch this in theaters. Don't Sail the High Seas. This movie is meant to be seen in theaters.
Yeah, there's no way.
I think it's in IMAX. Then I will go and watch it in IMAX for sure.
I think it's gotten a limited release. It might. I don't think it's IMAX just yet, but I'd imagine
I want to go see it. Oh my
with
god.
like the good word of mouth going around, things like that. I would imagine like shortly down the road we would get an IMAX release. Because like there's no way they can like it's like people are like you and I'm going to see it again pretty much like going back and seeing it multiple times.
Yeah.
That's how you gauge a movie's success, not on its opening weekend, not just on its opening weekend, because you know how people on Twitter love to point out, oh, like you're shitting on this movie, but it made this much opening weekend. Well, let's see what legs it has the second weekend. This one, like you can tell, it has legs, and it's going to do just as well the second weekend. There's always going to be a little bit of a drop, but compared to other movies this year, it's going to be minimal.
I need to go watch it on a proper IMAX screen.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it had a limited release here in the States. Like, it's okay, it is on IMAX. I haven't seen it around here. So like it got like a limited release across the States.
So I need to go see. Yeah. Oops. It's on IMAX. So I need to go and do that. Godzilla seatings are selling out in Adelaide. Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I went with my siblings, and there's 4 of us. We had to be separated by an aisle because we couldn't get 4 seats together. That's how many fast the seats were selling out at the showtime. And it was an afternoon showtime. It's not like an evening or anything like that where most people are going to the theater after dinner or things like that. No, this was like a 3:20 showing, and people were like, it was packed. And we were lucky we got seats reasonably close together. Oh, let me tell you about. You'll get a kick out of this stuff. Because we were ready to kill my one brother yesterday. All right, so I was driving to the theater with my sister. We were going to meet our brothers there, and we were just getting close to the theater, and our one brother texts, "It's at this theater, right?" Completely in the different direction from where we're going, pretty much. So we're like, "No, it's this one." Remember, we had the long text conversation about the theater we're going to. It's like, okay. It's at this time, right? It's like, puts the wrong time in the chat. And then we're like, no, it's like right now, 3:20. Where are you? He thought it was at 3:40 at a different theater in the opposite direction, pretty much. So he had to haul ass from his place to this theater. And my one brother was ready to kill him because he gets a text from the one who's late going, okay, where are you guys? I'm trying to find you. And my brother's like, Jesus Christ. And he's like, give me the information. Like, just get to the we're in theater 7. Get here.
This movie definitely has my curiosity. You should really check it out. You should really check it out. It's really good. Dermot,
I looked at The Boy and the Heron. I'm like, that piqued my interest, but I'd have to see if there's any show times this coming weekend.
Dermot, I don't know why you we're not talking about this, but sure, I guess. You seem a really nice person, but just be honest and admit you're a right-wing Trump supporter. Why else would you and Krista go to a Trump rally with Jeremy? Well, I don't really talk politics on my channel, but I make it no business to hide that I am a Republican. I mean, I grew up in Texas with very conservative parents. I have a very conservative point of view. Yeah, I am conservative. There's nothing wrong with that. As an American, I have every right to be that. And why did I go to a Trump rally? Because I needed to vlog it. It's part of my job. So that's why I went. So
I don't know. I'm not seeing the connection between that and talking about a giant lizard.
Yeah, I think we're kind of talking about Godzilla. Threw it off a little bit, but there's your answer. So
yeah, so I'm just saying. We're talking about a giant lizard nuking Tokyo.
Let's get some of these super chats. Mike Hill for $2 says, "Damn, that heat ray goes off like a nuclear bomb."
Because it is. It's a nuclear blast. It's literally like he's shooting nuclear energy. So.
Oh, it's so
when that
good.
blast
Every single
happens,
time it goes off too. It's just like,
yeah,
it's incredible. Mike Hill for 5, the main star should have gotten a slap on the back of the head when the girl called him daddy and he said he's not her father.
Oh, that one character was ready to do that to him.
I know.
That one character was ready to do that to him. Again, I don't want to spoil anything because I love that scene, but I could see like that character was like he was ready to do that, like when the main character said that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. They all just it was just shock when they were just kind of like, "Hey, stop that!" All three of them got upset.
Yeah,
you know, because they're just like, "Stop! That's very damaging to a child. Like, you're not supposed to do that."
The kid's the girl's like 3 years old. Like it's like just like you like you really
it's such a good movie. when a scene something like that so small and so contained has such an impact. It's such a great movie. Winky Wanky Woo for $5. Mara, as an intersectional non-binary feminist, Jaws is about getting your first period as a shock.
Well, I'm not touching that.
Hang on. Patrick for 5. New Godzilla looks like a feral cat. Definitely a threat. Dude, before he... Oh, hold on. Like, there's a scene. It's that scene that I showed you in the water, right? Where he gets, like, really angry, and he's like this, and he's about to shoot off his heat ray. And his eyes are, like, bulging out of his head.
My StreamYard's just buffered for me, so I missed what you said.
Oh, there's a scene, like he literally gets into it's I think it's this scene right here where he gets up to shoot his heat ray, right? He's almost gonna do it, and his mouth just like opens wide, and his eyes are like bulging out of his head. Do you remember that scene?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was the scariest I've ever seen Godzilla look. Like, it was frightening the way he looked. Oh my goodness. That scene was so good. And I think it's this scene, right? Is it this scene? Or it takes place after?
Yeah, because I think because he's ready to blast the boat.
Yeah, he's about to. Okay. He's ready to blast. It's like a little bit after the scene, but oh my god, when he did that, I was just like, that is the scariest I've ever seen Godzilla look. It looked crazy. He looked crazy. Dom gifted 5. Count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 memberships. Thank you. And then Bebop 1988 became a channel member. Thank you so much. Winky Wanky Woo for $2. You suit the color red, Mara.
Thank you. Near the end. I'm going to see the movie again because there was a lot to process. And D-Day, yes, I've seen Shin Godzilla.
Patrick T. 2. Trump isn't scary, but feral cats are.
My sister did bring up that he kind of does have like cat-like movements a little bit. And I don't want to say when, because again, it's going to like spoil shit, especially with the plan they have to take Godzilla down. But like, watch it. Like, it kind of reminds us of a cat of sorts.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this movie is so great. This movie is so freaking great. Mm-hmm. Steven says, a successful movie with no LGBT characters and no diversity and no Mary Sues. Shocking. Like I said, the story is so great. The characters are so great. The characters are written beautifully. They all have... The main character actually goes on a hero's journey. When you meet him, he's really down. He has PTSD. He has struggles. He doesn't really let people close to him. He has a hard time moving on. And then he ends up being like the hero of the film. And it's incredible. And you want to see it. You want him to be happy. And and you really feel for him in a lot of scenes. And then, you know, the people that he works with, you also become very close to them. You don't want anything to happen to any of these characters that you're introduced to. And there's just, like me and Mara said earlier, it's just the perfect blend, the perfect mesh, the perfect balance in this film of Godzilla being a threat and being able to show how threatening he is.
Yeah.
And the devastation that comes with him, you know, coming on land or even at sea. He's still, you know, incredibly threatening at, you know, just being in the ocean.
Because he sees Japan as his territory. So whenever
Right.
Japan fights back, he sees it as a threat to his essentially kingdom of sorts.
Right.
So,
And then at the same time, you have all of these characters that you have grown attached to, you know, going through their struggles, and you don't mind taking time away from, you know, Godzilla and being with these characters and, you know, listening to them and, you know, and listening to their discussions. You don't mind doing that because you're actually, there's investment in this film. And I feel like that's what's missing. You're missing all that investment in characters, especially when you have monster movies like this. You don't really care about the characters because why? Oh, because you want to be amazed. The studios think that you're there for like, oh, the spectacle of the monster. So let's, you know, focus on that. And, you know, the story, it could be here or there, but we need to really wow the audience and kind of dumb the movie down and show them like, look at these monsters. Look at their fighting. Look, big monsters. Ooh, wow. I feel like that's why the new Jurassic World movies like really suffer, you know, because people are just like, especially like on their tours and stuff, they're just like, oh my gosh, there's so many dinosaurs. We have this dinosaur. We have this dinosaur. It's like, okay, I really, yeah, you know, they sort of lose focus from like the original Jurassic Park movie where, you know, we actually, yeah, the dinosaurs were really awesome and they looked incredible and they were you know, way ahead of their time with the way, like, you know, they actually brought these prehistoric monsters to screen. But it was really successful because we also cared about all these characters. Like, seriously, after Jurassic World came out, I completely forgot what the main character's names were. I was just like,
I didn't even bother seeing them because I was like,
this
doesn't feel like Jurassic Park. This doesn't feel like it belongs with Jurassic Park.
I forgot his name was Owen in the movie. It's like, oh yeah, Chris Pratt. Whatever.
I remember people complaining about the fact that Bryce Dallas Howard's character wore heels. I'm like, is that your biggest? It's like, why? Like, there's so much more to complain about this movie, and you're focused on the fact that she runs in heels.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Trey. Like the Velociraptor stopped being scary. The T-Rex is now like the for whatever reason they decided to make it like the unsung or like the hero of at the very end. Always knows when to finally step in and, you know, come and save the characters. It's really it's just not good.
The T-Rex and the Velociraptor literally tip hats like they're cowboys and walk in separate ways.
I know.
After,
like, thank you for helping me out. Okay, we're gonna go our separate ways. Owen just looks at Blue and just like says, "Not these humans. Nope. Can't take these humans." Nope.
Yeah, like a T-Rex would listen to that. This is like the T-Rex that ate Velociraptors at the end of Jurassic Park. Yeah, he would listen to a Velociraptor.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I like. I feel like this movie is not that. It is a huge departure from everything that we've ever seen in monster movies. Honestly, that's what this movie is. It's so great. This movie is incredible. All right. Well, there's a couple of trailers that we need to watch, Ms. Mara. The first one, I mean, we're talking about Godzilla, right? So
yeah,
let's watch Godzilla Kong, The New Empire.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got. Godzilla Kong, The New Empire. I actually watched Godzilla versus Kong around Thanksgiving time when I went home to like visit my parents. I watched Godzilla versus Kong. So I was like, yeah.
It was okay. King Kong kind of cheated.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, yeah, okay.
But it was fine.
But again, like if I watched that movie because I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch a Godzilla movie, right? Like the new Godzilla movie comes out soon. Let me watch this movie just to get me in the mindset of Godzilla. Comparing that movie to Godzilla Minus One, and I'm like the feeling that I'm getting when I'm watching Godzilla Minus One, and the things that I'm thinking when I'm watching Godzilla vs Kong, like I could care less about those kid characters and like the conspiracy theory person that they find.
Oh, like that brought the movie down so.
Oh my god,
I hated that. I hated that.
Those scenes in that movie, I was just like, God, these kids are so fucking annoying.
They end up in Japan where the father is. Let's focus on that character, the father character, the guy that actually studies these monsters pretty much. Yeah. If you're gonna end up in Japan anyway, get rid of these fucking characters that we know and don't care about that are annoying and focus on that guy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that those characters were so annoying. You know, and I never felt once that the characters in Godzilla, the people in Godzilla Minus One, like I didn't find any of them annoying. Like none of them. But these, I'm just like, oh God, the little girl is a know-it-all. Holy crap. Okay, can we move on? Can we move on? These characters are so annoying.
Unfortunately, I think I saw. Did I see him? No, I couldn't really skip.
And then I don't remember who are the other characters. Oh, that's right. Alexander Skarsgård is in that movie. And the other girl.
They're studying Kong.
They're studying Kong. The Kong people.
Yeah.
That's right. See, look at that. I was just like, who else is in that film? I couldn't even remember. And I watched that movie like around Thanksgiving. So I should have been
should be fresh.
I should be fresh on it, right? It's not like I watched that movie and forgot about it since it came out. No, I just finished watching it and I couldn't remember who was in it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's that movie, and actually those films don't hold a candle to just this one film, Godzilla Minus One. You guys need to stop. All right, let's watch Godzilla
basically the team of Godzilla and Kong.
Like Godzilla Kong?
Yeah, right. Godzilla X Kong, I guess you want to call it that.
Is it like a collaboration? You know, like
they're forced to team up, or they're for another threat. The way it's looking.
So is that the X?
Yeah, like they're going to be fighting together.
So Godzilla, shouldn't it be like a W then with Kong?
I have no idea.
Godzilla X collaboration.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, this movie looks like shit. And then we get the gross looking baby with the eyes that are humongous. Why are the eyes so big?
I don't know. Did you see that King Kong game that just came out?
Look, Raging Rhino for $3. Yeah. Edit in the Bring Me Thanos when he's ready.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Aim for the head.
Bring me Thanos. Game Your Wet with a $1.50 super sticker. Thank you. Patrick T for 2. Baby Godzilla has the downs. Oh no.
Oh, did you ever? You want to see a still
for 5? Big difference in the budget compared to this and Godzilla Minus One. Yeah. I bet. I mean, it's Hollywood, right?
You want to see a still for Baby Godzilla and Godzilla's Revenge from like decades ago? Here, I'll show you what he looked like. This is one of the movies where Godzilla became friend of the children.
Baby Godzilla versus Baby Kong. I mean, come on, that's where we're headed, right? We got it. Yeah. They're gonna find an egg or something. They'll find an egg. Godzilla 98 has better CGI than this, right? Or it's like equal. The CGI is equal. Oh my gosh.
There is a better looking Son of Godzilla later, but this is from 1969. This is when Godzilla became friend of the children.
Oh.
That's
Yeah.
Minya, Godzilla's son.
I have seen him before.
Yeah, that's Minya.
So they're gonna have a Son of Godzilla now. They're gonna bring in Son of Godzilla.
They did already back in like the early 2000s.
No,
They
I
did.
mean in the MonsterVerse.
Okay, yeah.
I mean in the MonsterVerse, and then they're gonna fight.
So.
D-Day Direwolf for $2. Godzilla running, then falling like that black chick.
Yep.
She gonna fall again. That was so bad. Oh my god, nice try. It's clearly Bobby Hill. Baby Godzilla and Baby Kong versus Baby Yoda. I want to see that. Go Kong, Godzilla, fuck him up. He had to find a way to like shoehorn Star Wars in there.
I don't know.
Didn't you, Rhino?
Yes.
Didn't you, Rhino? He just shoehorned some Star Wars in there. Mara, have you seen this? Hold on. This site has so many freaking ads.
Yeah, I did see the picture you posted.
Yeah. He takes on Sabretooth. And someone else is going to be in the Toad. Toad is also going. Get out of here. So they're bringing back Sabretooth and Toad. You think they're going through time? Do you think
I think so, because people were pointing out, like, kind of pointing out that kind of reminds them of other films.
Yeah.
So I think that's the case, where it's kind of like
they're going through
back in time.
They're going to be going through the X-Men timeline.
Yeah, something like that.
Sabretooth looking like a Californian homeless. Yeah, they're bringing back. They're bringing back Sabretooth. They're bringing back Toad.
Mm-hmm. I just don't want it to be like the X-Men Member Berries movie, pretty much. Like, oh, you remember this X-Men? You remember this X-Men? You remember this X-Men?
I think that's exactly what they're going to do.
It's like, I don't want it to be like that.
I think they're going to be going through time.
Yeah.
That means Magneto will show up. Toad confirmed? Yes, Toad is confirmed. They kill. You know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning? That was such a crappy line.
I know.
That was such a cheesy, crappy line.
Thank you for reminding me of that cringe.
Excuse me. But yeah, Sabretooth was first seen. Also on set is the actor playing another mutant from the original X-Men film, Toad. So yes, confirmed. Sabretooth and Toad. No, that's not it. It croaks. No, it's the same thing that happens to everything else. That's the rest of the.
Yeah.
I
thought that was going somewhere, and it was just cringe.
There you go. Mike has bad knees. The same thing that happens to
everything else. I'm like, and when I heard that line, I was like, okay.
Well, let's continue to talk about Marvel just a touch, just a little bit, because remember when we were talking about, or they announced that Captain America and Iron Man are coming back into the MCU?
Yeah, because no one likes these new characters, pretty much.
Yeah, it looks like they might. Are they going back on that? Are they going back on it? Because Kevin Feige, Vanity Fair, that did this whole article on Robert Downey Jr. It's a whole article on him. Robert Downey Jr.'s third act. He's lived a complicated life. He understands the stakes. They did a full article on Robert Downey Jr. I mean, they talked about everything in this article. But when you get down to here it is. Kevin Feige says this: after 10 films, they talked about Iron Man and how they were reluctant to hire Robert Downey Jr. because of his controversial past. They didn't want to hire the suits at Marvel, didn't want him hired for the role, but but then he did get the role of Iron Man, and he's very grateful for that role because it completely turned his career around. So then it says after 10 films, Downey's Iron Man made his exit in 2019 Avengers Endgame, still a high watermark for the series. Marvel has a reputation for resurrecting characters who seemingly meet their ends. And here's the quote from Feige. But Feige says that won't happen to Stark. We're going to keep that moment and not touch that moment again. We all worked very hard for many years to get to that, and we would never want to magically undo it in any way. And then it talks about how Robert Downey Jr., he was reluctant after he completed it. He was reluctant to even come back to reshoots for Endgame. It says Downey was reluctant to even do reshoots and redo a single line of dialogue. Stark's last for Endgame, we'd already said a tearful goodbyes on the last day of shooting. Everyone had moved on emotionally. Joe Russo says, we promised him it would be the last time we made him do it ever.
Mm-hmm.
That was a difficult thing for him to do, to come back and pick up that line. When he did come back, we were shooting on a stage directly opposite to where he auditioned for Tony Stark. So his last line as Tony Stark was shot literally a couple hundred feet from his original audition that got him the role. It was very bittersweet for Robert Downey Jr. So he doesn't ever want to go back to that role of Tony Stark.
And he shouldn't, because he would undo like his sacrifice pretty much.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. So I don't know. Honestly, I forget whenever we read through articles and stuff about like bringing characters back. I forget them as soon as I'm done reading them. I wish I could remember everything that I don't. So everything that they're saying about them bringing back Iron Man, like now, are they just not going to do it because Robert Downey Jr. would be reluctant to do it? Kevin Feige himself said we're not going to resurrect Iron Man. So are we stuck with Ironheart now?
Yeah, we're stuck with Riri Williams.
Yeah,
pretty much, because so it shouldn't. And like, who's going to care? Who cares about that character? Who's going like? I know there's people that that claim to love the character, that like claim to be Marvel fans, but there's no way like that character could ever replace Iron Man, no matter how Marvel tries their damnedest to do that. So
yeah, but what about the rumors? I know. What about the rumors? I could see
that's the case. They're rumors, so it's like
I could see Chris Evans, you know, coming back and reprising his role as Captain America, especially when you have like a Falcon and the Winter Soldier series.
But would he be like young Captain America? Like, would they find a way, or we older Captain America is the way they end his story? He's an old man.
I don't know.
So it's like, I'm saying, like, there are rumors until like it's confirmed either way. I generally don't put stock in rumors. So I'm like,
Alex Slusher for $1. It was a little heart. Thank you. Ree Larson for 10. No way they can afford RDJ for Iron Man after all these L's. That is true. That is very true.
Like, there's no way. Like you have the Marvels or whatever that movie was called. It's like the worst MCU film so far. Like, it pretty much bombed.
Oh, it's the worst performing MCU movie of all time.
Yeah.
The worst performing MCU movie of all time.
I think they've lost a combination of like $1 billion.
Millions of dollars.
Yeah. I think like combined they've lost like $1 billion or close to it with their like recent movies they've released. And I'm not just Marvel, but like the movies they've released, they've lost money. There's no way they could afford it. They bring him back.
I know. I don't think they could. I mean, the fact that did they announce that we're getting like a Thor 4? Is that what I saw somewhere? Hold on, wait. I need to news.
I thought Love and Thunder was Thor 4.
Oh, maybe a fifth one then.
Yeah, it'd have to be a fifth one.
Oh yeah, fifth one. Are they doing it? Yeah, Thor 5. They're doing a Thor 5. It's a rumor. Feature a darker tone than Taika Waititi's movies. Yeah, they're bringing like a new one. He won't be in 5 and Thor, or Taika Waititi won't be involved in Thor 5. Good.
Shocker.
Yeah. They're doing like a Thor 5. Honestly, I can't even believe Thor has gotten a Thor 4. Got a 4th movie. Like that was like the character that I like least expected to have a 4th movie.
Definitely shouldn't have been tonally that. And the third one shouldn't even have been. It felt it had too much levity in it, the third movie, and then the fourth one just went completely off the fucking rails with stupidity. Thor is like, I always prefer the Shakespearean tones to the first two. Well, maybe not necessarily the second film, but definitely in the first film, where he's a god. Like Thor is power alone. I'd say the most powerful Avengers member that we've seen on screen. He's the most powerful Avengers member. He's a god. He's the son of Odin. And he was reduced to a joke beginning in the third movie and then treated as like belittled in the fourth one. So like, who's going to want to see a fifth one after the third and fourth ones?
Well, the 4th one was awful.
I know, I'm saying, who's going to want to see a fifth one?
Come back to it, yeah. Mara, are you? I don't think you are. I don't know. Are you a fan of House of the Dragon?
I haven't even watched the first
season.
one.
My god. Okay, well, we're gonna watch this trailer because I fucking love House of Dragon. Season 1 was incredible. I can't wait for season 2. I'm really fucking excited. We're gonna watch this trailer. You need to watch it, Mara. Okay? You need to watch season 1
Right.
because we're going to be talking about House of the Dragon. I'm so excited. I'm so stoked for this.
All right. I have no idea what's going on, but I'll watch the trailer.
There. Look at him staring menacingly at the throne. He wants that throne, dude.
There's a war between.
Are we in? Dude. I know DJ Direwolf is fucking. I know you excited.
Race swapping aside, it looks decent.
Not that doesn't even.
I mean, I know the Targaryens are literally described
the
a way.
I know it's the North, dude. I hope. Are we gonna see more of the North because we didn't? I hope so. Where is it? Right here. I am so stoked. This right here. Mara, you need to watch House of the Dragon. You need to watch House of the Dragon. I can't wait for this part. It's gonna be so good. You really need to watch it, Mara. We're gonna talk more about it. You need to watch it.
When's this new season drop?
In the summer.
All right.
I have a feeling they might drop the ball, but I hope not. I don't think they will. I don't think they will. The first season was incredible.
I'm just saying, race swapping aside, it looks decent, but the Targaryens are described a certain way, where it's I'm like looking at that going,
the green, I dare that. So excited. The banners are raised. They're going to war. Targaryen.
Gondor calls for aid.
Targaryen banners in the camp.
But
Tower banners. Greens versus blacks, baby. Greens versus blacks. Oh, it's so good. I hope it's great. I know. Oh, wait. Whoops. I hope. Stop nerding out. I want to reread the book. I'm gonna reread the book, or at least like get it on audio. All of my books are at home. They're back home. I didn't bring any of my books here. I need to go buy another one. I can't wait for this. This is gonna be so great. The fact that you're not nerding out with me is really upsetting. Okay, it's really upsetting. Team Green.
Nothing about season 1 grabbed me.
Was that Dragon Vega? Yeah.
To watch it.
At the end, that dragon at the big fucking dragon at the end. Yeah, that's her. That's Vega. Oh, it's so good. Are you gonna watch Fallout? Did you see the trailer for Fallout?
I did not watch the trailer. I've not been impressed with the stills I've seen. But I haven't watched the trailer yet.
You want to watch it?
Sure.
So here's something that I don't know anything about. I never played Fallout. Don't know about it.
I'm sorry Mike has bad knees. I didn't watch season 1, so I'm like, there's nothing like getting me to nerd out.
Yeah. Well, here, I'll give this to Mara, since I don't know anything about it. She can give her.
I really don't know much about it either.
Trailer.
So,
Team Damon all the way. Let's go. Oh, really quickly, before we watch this, I saw stills and stuff. I didn't realize this was a trailer for Fallout because I did see the stills, and I was just kind of like, I don't care about it. And then my friend texted me, and he was like, "Did you see the new Fallout trailer? It looks so good. Don't you watch movies and stuff?" And I was like, "You thought it looked good? Okay, well, I don't know. I never played that game. I guess he played it, and so now." I want to see what y'all think because he liked it. He's excited about it, but I don't know anything about it, so I don't know.
I know that I've lived a relatively comfortable life.
Stop! Lucy! You need to go home. All dwelling endangered species.
Oh.
I do not think you would be willing to do what it takes to survive up here. If you insist on staying, then you will have to adapt.
Is that a giant roach? Is that a bug?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to see tomorrow unless I see it with.
The armor looks fine.
So they say.
That arm looks so fake. Look, where's the bone? Where's the
Up
bone?
there. Yeah, I know, but
So they say will be a lovely day. A bright new sun will suddenly break through.
What do you think so far?
I mean, they have the dystopian feel. Fine. It's fine.
Okay.
But I know
That is horrible.
Is that Red Skull?
No, it's not.
It looks like
That's
Red
supposed to be a
Skull.
mutant. That's supposed to be a mutant, and they're supposed to look a lot fucking worse than that. That looks like Red Skull.
That's what I thought when I thought of him. When I saw him.
Yeah, I'm saying like here. Hold on. Let me just look up real fast.
So he's supposed to look even more gross.
Yeah. Hold on, let me just see if I can get a good picture
All right.
of like what he should be looking like.
He looks burned.
what's their?
Is
He's
he
a
just
ghoul,
burned?
yeah. Like he's a.
Oh,
So
but
like
no,
they're
you said
supposed to
he's a
look a
mutant,
lot
right?
worse. They're supposed to look a lot worse.
He's supposed to be a
Let's
ghoul.
see if I can get a good
Ghoul.
picture. Yeah, they're called ghouls.
Okay, they're basically supposed to look like zombies. Oh.
Yeah. Trying to see if I can get a good picture.
I'll look it up, Mara.
Yeah. Like you'll look at them and like look at this and it's like no, like he's not believable as a ghoul.
Okay.
Unless I see it with you.
Oh, does that dude have one eye?
Yes.
Is this a comedy?
It's trying for some levity.
Is the game a comedy?
No, it's not supposed to be. It's.
And grabbed a moldy one.
He has one eye.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be a comedy. So it's like equivalent of a dystopian survival horror games.
Oh.
And grabbed a moldy one.
That looks cool.
And there's creatures like like
my
mutated
God, were
creatures.
those fingers?
Yeah, there's mutated creatures. Yeah.
What? That's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. Where's the? Is there like a bear? Was that a bear?
I'm not saying it's no silly shit, Sean. I'm just saying it's not supposed to be a comedy.
That's weird.
There's
That
levity.
looks
There's like there's silly stuff, and there's that.
That looks pretty cool.
So.
Ugh.
I don't want to see tomorrow. I see.
Those 3 nuclear bombs. I've never played this game. Yes?
Yeah, well, it's like it's Fallout. Pretty
Fallout,
much.
yeah.
Fallout, like as it implies.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing grabbed me.
Let's see. Oh, so this is the guy. Okay. Yeah, I can see a big difference in that.
Yeah.
Is that him?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's that necessarily that character, but that's what ghouls are supposed to look like. And like, depending on the type of ghoul you encounter, there are ones that look a lot worse than that. Like that's kind of a more civilized ghoul. Then there are feral ones. I know my siblings played the games. I never really got into them, but they played them and I'd watch. So like there's feral ones that are like worse, like or uglier. And that just looks like, hey, let's like remove his nose and like make like like change the skin tone. So that'll make him a ghoul. No, like they have to look kind of fucked up.
Ooh, here's another one.
Like so it's too clean. Yeah, something like that. Like they actually look like a walking corpse.
Oh. Ooh.
And that like the one in Fallout looks way too clean. It's like hey, let's just remove his nose and change his skin tone, and like that's a ghoul. No, that's not a ghoul.
Gross.
That looks
creepy. All right, well, there's Fallout.
Yeah.
Let me check something. All right, let's talk about this. Oh wait, here's a better one. Let's talk about this. The other movie that we watched.
Yes.
The other movie that we watched Silent Night. What do you think about it?
I overall enjoyed it. I thought it was decent. I told my chat to say that there is extremely little dialogue in this movie is not an understatement. There is like little to no dialogue at all in this movie. So you can't like just look down at your phone and follow what's happening, because a lot of this movie is facial expression driven, especially with the main character and what he's going through. I told them don't go in expecting a John Wick-esque film. When the action happens, it's good, but it's not like action packed like a John Wick film. It's very psychologically driven from basically a father's anguish and torment, and the difference in coping he goes through versus his wife following what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Trey. It's almost a character study because you're really focused on this character here and his evolution and de-evolution of sorts. Pretty much.
Here's my take. The movie was okay. It's called Silent Night for a reason.
Yeah.
Nobody talks in this film. There's chatter in the background. There's chatter on the radio. There's chatter through police scanners. But nobody talks in this film. And that's unique in films that are made nowadays, you know, like that's like something that's incredibly unique about this film. It's good and it's bad. Okay, that's what I think. Joel in this role, Joel Kinnaman in this role is great.
I think he carries the movie. The movie.
He's incredible in this role. He's so great in this film. You can see everything. Whatever he needed to express, he did it. Okay, you saw in the trailer for this movie that he gets his vocal cords blown out.
Yeah.
And that his son dies, right?
Mm-hmm.
His son dies, so it's a dad on a revenge quest film. It's like The Punisher. Okay, this guy is an everyday Joe. I'm pretty sure he's like an electrician. And when he decides, like, okay, I'm gonna take out the guys and the gangs that killed my son, and he starts learning how to do all of that, you can tell he's never done any of that before in his life. This is the first time.
Which I kind of appreciated because, like, he makes mistakes. He makes mistakes. He's not perfect.
Yeah. And in no way is he perfect in this movie. Yeah. In no way is he like, well, I don't want to say in no way, but because he takes some beatings and bullets and knives, to his body, but so he's not invincible.
Yeah.
But you can tell he is on a quest to kill people. But in learning all of that and in going through what he's going through in this film and only being able to express it with his face and emotions and absolutely no words are spoken, he does an excellent job.
Mm-hmm.
He does a really good job. When he's grieving, you can tell he's grieving. When he's angry, you can tell he's angry. When he's sad, you can tell he's sad. When he's scared, you can see it in his eyes. It's so good. His performance is so good. But I think that the movie does suffer because nobody talks. Nobody else talks. And the movie suffers in that way. Now, how does the movie go on and nobody talks? Isn't he in his house with his wife? Yes, he is. But his wife texts him. Like, it shows the dynamic of, it shows the fallout of like the losing their only child, and they're both grieving, and the toll it can take on a marriage. you know, so it does show that, but I feel like it's such a, it takes away a lot of like emotional weight in the film when no one else can talk. Like it's not just the main character, but like nobody else in the film can talk, you know? It sort of like takes away from the film.
So
Because it's like his wife could easily go up there and talk to him. She could easily go and tell him how she's feeling. But because nobody can speak in the movie, that doesn't happen. She ignores him as much as he ignores her. You know, she decides not to speak to him when like so he can't really speak to her, you know. And yes, they're both grieving and she kind of gives him his space and he's been through a lot, but I feel like it's sort of lacking in that dialogue. So when here's a spoiler. So when the wife does leave, it's kind of like, oh, okay, so she left him. You don't really care that she's leaving.
I would agree with you there. I think the wife at least should have had some dialogue.
Uh,
I think someone in my chat said that the script for this movie was only like 5 pages.
Yeah, I bet.
It was only 5 pages. So
yeah. You don't care that she's leaving. Like it's like, oh, okay, so she's leaving now. You know, there's emotion, you know, that you get through dialogue between characters, and like the frustration of like he can't express how he's feeling because he can't speak. You know, you could have had that dynamic between them, but because she doesn't talk, nobody talks in this film. You can't get that. It doesn't come across in the film. So when she leaves, it's like, okay, well now she's leaving.
That's the only one where I was like, I wish like there was some dialogue, like where she tries to reach him.
Exactly. Yeah.
And fails.
Exactly. You know. And then also there's a police officer who comes along in the third act and honestly like comes out of nowhere. When I was watching this movie, I was like, okay, so in my mind, because nobody speaks in this movie, right? I was like,
well,
okay,
he left
it can
his
go one
card.
of 2 ways. It can go one of 2 ways. Either
he didn't just come out of nowhere. He left his card in the hospital.
No, I know he didn't come out of nowhere, but
Yeah.
I mean like his motivations for come out of nowhere. That's what I mean. Like this man is willing to die alongside this grieving father for what? He leaves his card there. That's it. And then the next time we see him is at the police station and he just like looks at the dad. And that's it. We don't know his motivations. We don't know if he wants to stop these gang members. So like when he was there watching the house or whatever, I was like, okay, this can go one of 2 ways. Either he's there to try and help, or
he dropped the criminal at the police officer's house, that detective's house, with all the information he had gotten from that criminal, and he's like, I did what you couldn't do. So he pretty much kind of challenged the cop.
Yeah, but then but still, it's kind of like, okay, but why would he do that? He's never had any interaction with this cop. He was asleep when the cop dropped off his card, and he never met with the cop when he went to the station. He never met with him. He was just sitting there. He was waiting to meet with him, and he never met with him.
He had wanted posters essentially for the criminals that he wanted to find. So he like, that's kind of like the connection. He's like, I'm going to take out the guys that you should have taken out.
Right, and I understand that. But like when I was watching this movie, I was like, okay, this cop can go one of 2 ways, because either he hasn't arrested these guys because he's like in on the take, he's a dirty cop, right? Maybe. Or he's gonna help this dad. Like when I was watching, okay, it can go 2 ways. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Oh, okay, he's gonna help the dad. All right. But I feel like it comes out of nowhere because it's like, okay, he's willing to die helping this dad. What the fuck? I don't know. It just seemed so like out of left field, and I feel like that again was because nobody spoke in this movie. If it showed a scene of the cop, like, you know, maybe speaking to the wife, hey, yeah, we're gonna do whatever we can to, you know, help solve this case. If your husband can come in, or when the husband was leaving and he, you know, took the pictures, stole the information about the wanted posters of all the gang members, a little line like, hey, how long was that guy waiting? Nobody told me he was here, or something like that, you know? some sort of conversation to show me or to tell me that he is also as equally invested in this, in bringing down these criminals as the dad is, right? Or maybe like the movie like the movie just like it's a fault. It's faulty. Like, I don't care about this cop. Is he gonna die? If he does, I don't give a shit. The only character I care about is this dad, is this guy right here, because we're following this man through this whole movie. This is the only character you ever fucking care about in this film. I don't care if the cop dies, you know. If he does, I don't know. At the end, when the wife was like reading the letter,
I can't say anything what the implication is.
You know, at the end when the dad is writing the letter and then the wife reads the letter, I like there was nothing. I was just like, okay, so she left him. I don't really care. I don't know. It was just like, I think the movie suffered because there was no dialogue. If other people talked around this dad, you know, just a little bit, it didn't have to be a lot of dialogue either. Like, it doesn't have to be like scenes and scenes of dialogue, because we're still going to be focusing on this character. But if there was just a little bit of dialogue, it would have helped the scenes. You know, it would have helped the movie a lot better. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. Maybe I did need the dialogue. Maybe it just like, you know, it wasn't enough that we're only seeing things from like because really it's from his perspective. Everything is from this dad's perspective. So maybe that's another reason why we didn't get any dialogue, because he didn't hear any of it. I don't know. But I feel like the movie does lack because of it. It's a unique film. Don't get me wrong. It's a unique film. It's a good film. It's a great, I think it's a good film. I mean, but I still think that it does lack because there is no dialogue. Nobody talks in this movie. And aside from Joel Kinnaman's acting and, you know, the fact that like you're invested in him, you're not invested in anything else. You just kind of like, you just want him to do what he's going to do. And he did really well in this role. He carried this film, 100% carried this film. But I just wasn't invested in any of the other characters.
And I don't think
and I think that you're supposed to be. You need to be, because they, you know, because the wife.
You're supposed to be invested in the wife and the cop. Because
yeah, you need to be invested in the wife and the cop.
Or the detective. He's a detective. Because.
You know, because the wife, like, you know, she's his partner. She also lost her son. You don't really see her. You don't really see her like grieving too much because she's helping him. Mm-hmm. And like, you know, you see her like, oh, I can't find my keys. I don't want to go talk to him. So let me just text him. Where are my keys? I got to go to work. You know, she seems like really irritated instead of like a grieving mom, you know. It just, I guess maybe her acting doesn't come across as it should be. Like maybe she's not emoting what she's supposed to, because it honestly felt like she was really annoyed with her husband, and he's just like, oh, he's in the thing again, or oh, he's drinking again, or oh, why aren't you focused? You know, she seemed like, I don't know.
I didn't really get that. And like
that's how it came across to me.
She grieved at the hospital.
In the small
I think I can understand her.
When he wakes up, like that's it. That's all you see.
I know, but I can kind of understand her frustration. But like I said, like it's like basically a good and a bad kind of situation. They needed a little bit of dialogue with her to try to reach him. At the same time, he was cutting her off. Like he was literally cutting her off from him.
Understandable, but they are still husband and wife living in the same house.
I get that, but when you have someone refusing to even talk to you, you get to a point where you are frustrated.
Imagine how great a scene would be to have her go in there, like begging him to talk to her.
That's why I said, like, they needed a little bit.
Like begging him to, you know, with tears pouring down her eyes, like, I am, you know, I'm sad too. I'm grieving too. Please, you know, Show me
That's what I said.
something. Show me some kind of emotion. Like, imagine a scene like that in this film. It would have been great.
That's what I said. Like, they needed a little bit with like that with her, but at the same time, it's like when you're pointing out her like frustration. At that point, he's completely cut her off. He's not talked to her. He's
and
tunnel
that's
vision
fine.
on
He
his
can
revenge
cut her
plan.
off, and like maybe she's like, you know, yelling at her, like, you know, and that's her last ditch effort to try and reach her husband before she decides to leave him. I don't know. I just think I think it could have been better. It just needed just a little bit more. Just someone talk. Someone talk in the film. She should have, or that would have been better, Trey. She could have died with the son. You know, go full Punisher. She could have died with the son. Let's just do it. Do it. Just full Punisher. Excuse me. My kill for 5. That's probably why it didn't do that well at the box office. Barely making the top 10. Like, it's a unique film. I won't take that away from it. It's a unique film, and I like the premise. I like the execution, especially from Joel Kinnaman. But I still think that it suffers from the lack of dialogue. Keeping him silent, not a problem. He did an excellent job. But the whole movie where nobody talks, it didn't work for me. It was still good. Like, it was good. But it was good because of this character right here. It's because, you know, you're invested in this guy. And that's the only reason. So, yeah. That's the only reason I'm invested in this movie, was because of this guy right here. So if you want to see a film that's kind of unique, it's different, something that you've never really experienced before, this film is that. It is that. It's got a lot of action. It's really good. This dad is awesome. This character is awesome. The way he portrays everything that he needs to portray and express he did a great job in this movie. But I don't know. It's unique in that you need to see it for yourself to see what I'm getting at. I think you need to see it for yourself. But it's still good. It's still fine. You know, it's just it needed just some dialogue. It needed some dialogue. But it's still pretty good. I didn't mind it. All right. So we were supposed to talk about Elon Musk and Disney, but we've reached the 2-hour mark. Actually, we've gone past the 2-hour mark. Yeah.
So we talked about Godzilla a lot. So I
know we did talk about Godzilla a lot. I don't even mind. That's totally fine. No. So we're gonna stop here. Mara, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me. I at some point I will get back into making videos. This is my main channel, Jade Shadow. Life happened pretty much, so all I've really been able to do is stream, and at the same time, it's like when there's really not much to talk about, and I don't make videos on it because if I don't like the topic, if I don't care about the topic, I don't make a video because I don't believe in clickbait shit. So I stream mainly both on YouTube and my Kick, so that's where you can pretty much find me. Also, Kick Jade Shadow. I'll be starting Mass Effect 3 tomorrow. And then my plan is on Tuesdays to go back to playing the Halo campaigns, starting with Reach, given the fact that the Season 2 of the Halo in-name only show is going to be dropping shortly. I want to go back and play the actual good Halo campaigns, starting with Halo Reach. Yes, I know it doesn't jive with the book, but I do like the story in Halo Reach. So I finished Mass Effect 2 last Monday. I'm going to be playing Mass Effect 3. Then after I finish the kind of OG version of Mass Effect 3, I'm going to go back and play it on the Legendary Edition. So yes, the ending to Mass Effect 3 is like very much divisive. Not liked, pretty much. So yeah, so Mass Effect, Halo this week, one other game, and then no streams Friday because I'm going to be gone for most of the day and I have to get up early the next Saturday. So
Really quickly, what's your favorite version of Godzilla?
Favorite version of Godzilla. I very much liked his reemergence in the late 90s, early 2000s. Because, like I said, he did go through an evolution where he was kind of a good guy of sorts, which I thought was kind of cheesy. I mean, I watched the movies. I enjoyed them because they were like Godzilla. But I liked when Toho started going back to him being pretty much like just straight up, this is my territory and I'm going to destroy it if need be. If you're like when Japan fights back, pretty much. So like, you know, early 2000s, his reemergence, I very much like. And then fast forward to this one, Godzilla Minus One. That's all, like, you know, it's like right up there.
All right.
Yeah.
As for me, find me on Kick. Also subscribe to Geeks and Gamers clips and Geeks and Gamers life. And also, Jeremy just launched these right here. The Geeks and Gamers 199 backpacks. So pre-order those if you're interested. Me and Krista actually made like a commercial for them, but we never launched it or anything like that. But if you guys are looking for something nice, tactical, it's a big bag. It's a big bag and it expands. I think Jeremy took it. I don't think we have it here at the house anymore. But it's a really big bag and it's freaking awesome. I love it. I want one. So if you guys are looking for something like that, you guys want to rep the 199, check that out at 2G1B Tactical. Yeah. Oh, you got yours. Yay.
You know, Dragzilla, you want to
Pre-order.
I don't know if anybody in the chat has seen Godzilla versus Megalon.
It does fit a PS5.
That's good to know.
Yeah, it does. Well, that was like one of the questions. Does it fit a PS5? It does fit a PS5. It does fit a PS5. And we even put a PS5 in it.
But Godzilla versus Megalon is still the goofiness from the 60s because Godzilla is like straight up a good guy in it. And he somehow understands a robot that's sent to go get him to fight a couple monsters. So, yeah. So if you haven't seen Godzilla vs. Megalon, check that out.
Dude, I'm taking all the medicine. I'm hopped up on so much medicine right now. But yeah, check out that backpack. It is freaking awesome. I want one. So I put the link in chat. All right, guys. Thank y'all Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Go see Godzilla Minus One. That movie is freaking amazing. Yep. We'll see you guys next week on Mars channel. Bye.